The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCmedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, Fall River voters go to the polls in the municipal election. We have the results and reaction. Diman breaks ground on its state-of-the-art new school, and the Diocese of Fall River is expanding its services to include those facing mental health challenges. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, November 9th, 2023. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. Fall River went to the polls on Tuesday to vote on who will be Fall River's next mayor and its representation on the City Council and School Committee. And voters appeared to favor those currently in office or those who served in the past, as all the incumbents were re-elected and the open seats went to those who had previously held public office. A little over 19% of Fall River's registered voters cast ballots in the election, falling well below the turnout of recent municipal elections. Mayor Paul Coogan earned a third term in office, defeating former mayor and Bristol County District Attorney Sam Sutter. Mayor Coogan received 6,643 votes, or 60%, to Sutter's 4,310 votes, 39%. Here are the comments from both candidates as they addressed their supporters Tuesday night.
I have to thank the amazing crew. This is our fourth campaign in 4 years. We did the recall, we did the regular, we did last year, we did this one, and we have 2 more years to serve. So I probably have worn them out, and without them, you have no shot whatsoever. So the guys in this room, the people who work with me in the Government Center, they're just such key components to moving the city along and making sure we're in the right position to do the right things to make the city a better place to live for everybody. That's kind of our goal every day when we wake up, make the city better than it was the day before and move things along. To Mike Rodricks and our representatives, Viola, Schmidt, and Sylvia, we do talk a lot. And I'm just thankful sometimes they don't hang the phone up on me because I ask for Fall River, I ask for Fall River, I ask for Fall River, and that's what we do. We try to work together, and I know that those kind of partners listen, weigh what you say, and make an informed decision that's going to benefit both the state and the City of Fall River. But right now, we're going to focus on the City of Fall River. And in this last term, we did a lot of good things with ARPA, but in this next term, we're going to do a lot more good things. But in reality, we're a blue-collar administrative team. Roads, schools, crime, sidewalks, parks. Those are the things we focus on, and that's where we're going to keep our focus like a laser beam. What can we do to make the city better? Do we have the right people in place to make the city better? And it is a partnership across the city. I know the people in this room are all key. I look around and I see so many people in this room that I'd like to personally thank. I think I walked around and did a lot of it. But there are so many people in here that contribute to making Fall River a better place to live. And they're key components. They are so key. I rely on them. They're comfortable with me. I love the fact that the people who work with me are not afraid to tell me, well, that's a pretty harebrained idea. We're not going to be doing that. And they'll tell you, and they'll work with you to make it better or refine it. And that's what we need in the city. We need people that aren't afraid to talk up and put you on the right track to do something more positive for the city. So this term, it will be crime, streets, sidewalks, parks. We're going to do all we can to get our school scores up. We're going to do all we can to make sure we get a full complement of policemen in on board so we can take care of our citizens. And we're going to do whatever we can to fix as many streets, water, sewer as possible. And that's what we're going to be. And along the way, We're going to pick up some extra things like this week. Our new grant writer just got us $2.5 million to help support our police department. And these are the kind of things. And these are the kind of things we're going to do to make sure the city's going in the right direction.
I ran because I truly believe that Fall River's at a crossroads. I think it's obvious. We just reclaimed 19 to 21 acres from the waterfront. We've got the train coming down from Boston. We've got a downtown that needs revitalizing, a Flint neighborhood that needs revitalizing, and we've got all of these assets. That's what's frustrating, whether it's the Deepwater Port, the location with Boston North, Providence West, Cape East, Newport South, the 100,000 cars that go back and forth across the Braga Bridge. We could be a jewel, but we've got a lot of work to do. So that's why I ran. That was the civic reason why I ran. But there was also a personal reason why I ran, and that's where you guys and others who didn't make it here tonight. There were 150 people that Lisa and Liam and I called, and let me just single them out. Everybody in this room did a lot, but the two people who did the most were Liam Kidd, who was a Swiss Army knife, and Lisa Rowell, who took 3 months out of her life to help me with the campaign, and it didn't always go smoothly, but we wouldn't have gotten 4,300 votes without her, I can tell you that right now. So thank you very much, Liam and Lisa. But I was going to talk about the personal reason and where you come in. So the personal reason was that loss in 2015. So I gave you the civic reason, and it's an important one. But that was one that was very difficult to accept because I loved the job, and I was just starting to get the hang of it, and I could feel it. It's like anything else that you do. You're just, in the beginning, you're not sure, and you're learning, and you're colliding with your inexperience, and you're growing. But I felt like by September, October, I was starting to get the hang of it. And I think I could be a great mayor for this city. And maybe I will. Maybe I'll get a chance someday. Maybe I won't. Maybe this was the last hurrah, that great movie with Spencer Tracy who wants one more term as mayor. I just want one term. Maybe I won't. When you're holding a sign at a visibility, when you're holding a sign on election day, when you're coming to the office to make phone calls, when you are coming to my announcement, all of those things, basically what you do is you reinforce me and you send a message to others. We believe in this candidate and we think he can win and we think he is worthy of your attention.
The 7 incumbents running for city council were all re-elected, with 2 former councilors selected to fill the open seats. Linda Pereira, Brad Kilby, Cliff Ponte, Sean Kadim, Joseph Camara, Andrew Raposo, Paul Hart, Michelle Dion, and Laura Washington will all start their next term in January, with Mr. Ponte and Mr. Hart returning to city council chambers. Ricky Tith finished 10th, followed by Gabriel Boomer Amaral, Joshua Tixera, Jordan James Sylvia, Alexander Silva, Bob Pearson, Gloria Sadler, Paulo Amaral, and Joseph Salvador. For school committee, 5 incumbents have earned another term: Kevin Aguiar, Sarah Rodrigues, Michelle Mimi Larrabee, Shelly Ann Pereira, and Bobby Bailey. Tom Corey, who chose not to run for re-election 2 years ago, was elected to return to the committee, finishing 4th. Falling short in the election were Colin Dias, Warren Alves, Rena Brown, and Charles Chase. During live coverage of the election results on FRCmedia and FRG-TV, former Mayor John Mitchell says it's always difficult for new candidates to break through to be elected for the first time.
It's so hard when you first start out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a matter of a few votes in each precinct, but he's been either 6th or 7th, and that's the difference. And it's amazing how it's like anything competitive, where try as you may, but the incumbent just has that little bit of an advantage. It may not be 100 votes in a 300-vote precinct, but it may be 10 or 12, and across the city it adds up. But it's just hard to break in initially, and I give people credit.
All the winners of this week's election will be inaugurated on January 2nd. The next stage in the future of Diman Regional Vocational Technical High School took place last Friday afternoon as ground was broken for its new school to be built on its current site on Stonehaven Road. Representatives from the 4 communities that are serviced by Diman, Fall River, Somerset, Swansea, and Westport were on hand, as was members of the legislative delegation and State Treasurer Deborah Goldberg, who oversees the Massachusetts School Building Authority, the funding agent for the project. During the ceremony, Diman Superintendent Director Brian Bentley proclaimed that when complete, Fall River will be home to a state-of-the-art vocational education facility.
As we gather here, we are not merely breaking ground, we are breaking barriers. We are breaking through limitations, and most importantly, we are breaking new ground in the pursuit of knowledge and excellence. This new school represents a powerful commitment to the future of our children, our community, and the value we place on education. It is a symbol of our unwavering dedication to providing the best possible learning environment for the young minds who will shape tomorrow. Our students are at the heart and soul of this endeavor. They are the reason we are here today. This school, with its state-of-the-art facilities, dedicated educators, and nurturing atmosphere, will be a place where their dreams and aspirations take root and flourish. To the educators who will soon call this school a home, you are the architects of our future. Your dedication and passion will mold young minds and inspire the leaders, thinkers, and innovators of tomorrow.
Also speaking at the ceremony was Diman senior Haley Pereira. The culinary arts student said regardless of the physical attributes of the new school, students leave Diman prepared for a career or the next steps in their educational journey.
There are 1,450 students that attend this school currently. All of our lives have been changed by attending this school. Diman sets up everyone that steps through these doors for life. And if college isn't in their pathway, they can go into the workforce with a background in their career choice. Attending Diman was one of the best decisions I've made. Not only do I have a background in my trade, but I've been set up for what life is going to be like in the real world, because that's what Diman does. Diman sets students up for success. And every teacher, staff, faculty member, and administrator at Diman, whether you have a relationship or not, wants every student to walk across the stage on their graduation day and get their diploma. As the new Diman is created, and the future students enter and begin their journey, they won't only make a name for themselves, they will also find out who they are, find a passion in a trade, and get a real-world experience.
Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey was in Fall River last Friday to promote the millions of dollars in tax incentives for homeowners, renters, and housing developers. The governor toured the apartments at Adams House, a former nursing home converted into 34 market-rate housing units. The property on Highland Avenue was renovated with the help of the state's Housing Development Incentive Program, or HDIP, which was expanded in the recently passed FY 2024 state budget.
The Housing Development Incentive Program, or HDIP, this is a really terrific program that's in play in gateway cities across Massachusetts, and it's a tax break that unlocks more housing. As I said, housing is our greatest challenge. We need to supercharge housing production in the state, and we need more developments like this. And that's why we are grateful that the legislature and our team, we work together to increase the cap on HDIP from $10 million a year to $57 million next year. That's a big deal. That's going to create a bunch of new homes all over the state. We also increased the statewide low-income housing tax credit by 50%, from $40 million to $60 million. That's a tax break that has a proven track record of creating more affordable homes. This is all part of our affordability agenda because lowering costs for folks, making life more affordable at a time when people are paying more for groceries, more at the pump, more for clothes, you name it. That's what we need to do.
Along with more investment in HDIP, the governor announced that as part of the $1 billion tax cut package approved by the legislature this year, there's an increase in the rental deduction cap from $3,000 to $4,000 to aid renters in Fall River and across the state. She also said that before the legislature is a $4.1 billion Affordable Homes Act, which will preserve and modernize nearly 70,000 homes across the state to lower the cost of building homes.
Tax incentives to unlock new homes, ways to eliminate some of the practices, some of the barriers that got in the way of housing development. It's absolutely where we need to go because it's going to lower costs for housing all around the state. That is not only important for families who need access to housing. I don't care, if you're talking about access to affordable rental apartments or access to housing units or even the ability to downsize right now. It's really hard to find a place to move into. It's also a matter of our competitiveness, and we have talked a lot about this. Our team's focused on three things: making Massachusetts more affordable, more competitive, and more equitable. And tax cuts and a housing bond bill like the Affordable Homes Act go directly to making life more affordable, as well as making Massachusetts more competitive.
Ken Fiola of Bristol County Economic Development Consultants, which works with the city on economic development projects, says the HDIP program has been a game changer in reshaping housing in Fall River and making the city more attractive to middle-class families.
We have on our board right now more than 2,000 potential market rate units coming to fruition. That is a large amount of activity that's going to take place within the city over the next couple of years. Those are construction jobs. Those are jobs that are going to be spread out across the board for purchases of supplies. And collectively, those 2,000 units represent a minimum of $600 million in private investment. That type of investment has never been, well, I shouldn't say never, but at least in my time, has not been seen within the city of Fall River. And I think it's a testament to the people that have born and raised here and actually put in their hard money into making Fall River what it is today. And now we're taking this to the next level.
Fall River State Representative Alan Sylvia was one of only 12 Democrats to oppose a sweeping gun reform bill passed by the House last month. Representative Sylvia says Massachusetts already has some of the toughest gun laws in the country, and his vote was based on what he says was the overwhelming opposition he received from those he represents.
I received 150 emails from constituents, along with calls from people who live in this district, from the Braga Bridge to Tiverton, Rhode Island, and they asked me to oppose the bill. Many of them were police officers. And I didn't receive one email or one call from a constituent asking me to support the legislation. As a result of that, of course, and after looking at the bill, it was clear to me that I was going to vote no. I immediately said to the police chief and others under the police department that I was voting no.
Along with his vote based on the wishes of his constituents, Representative Sylvia also feels some of the measures in the bill go too far and will negatively impact lawful gun owners.
People who are lawfully licensed gun owners will not be able to enter a school building, a polling place, and there are a few other locations where they wouldn't be able, even though they were a licensed gun owner, even though it was concealed, without the permission of the business. So if a business posts on their wall, you cannot enter if you're armed with a firearm. What does that licensed gun owner do with that firearm? Of course, they would just keep it on them. Or what do? Bring it back to your car unsecured in a glove compartment? That's unlawful to do. A police officer wouldn't be able to go in unless they were carrying their issued police revolver or handgun. What about the police officer who's off duty and carries a smaller handgun, so they can be concealed easily? That officer wouldn't be able to do that off duty.
Representative Sylvia says police departments across the Commonwealth, including here in Fall River, were in opposition to the bill. He believes the next steps in preventing gun violence need to take place in the courts.
We're not prosecuting offenders of unlawful possession of a firearm as we should. It's a mandatory jail sentence. Very few people go to jail. Very few people end up incarcerated as a result of possessing an unlawful firearm. So maybe we should be either reaching out to our judicial system to ensure that they prosecute these people properly and make sure that they pay a price for what they're doing. If not, they're going to reoffend and they'll be back out on the street. So,
the gun legislation passed the House by a vote of 120 to 38. The Senate is currently working on its version of a gun reform bill, but will likely not come to a vote until early in 2024. We'll have more FRC Media News after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Regional Sales Manager, Rector Seal, located at 1244 Deval Street, is looking for a full-time regional sales manager, responsible to market the company's line of HVAC and plumbing products to distributors, contractors, and independent manufacturers. Job number 199-84932. Master Clinician, Family Service Association, located at 101 Rock Street, is seeking a full-time Master Clinician to provide outpatient treatment to individual and families of the Behavioral Health Center. Job number 199-81246. Account Service Representative, Fall River Municipal Credit Union, located at 289 Milliken Boulevard, is looking for a full-time account service representative to provide member service support on all personal and business deposit accounts and services. Job number 199-85778. Seasonal Retail Sales Associate, Burlington Department Store, located at 181 Mariano Bishop Boulevard, is looking for a part-time seasonal retail sales associate. For more information, call 508-675-0829. L3 Harris, located at 275 Martin Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Electrical Engineer Specialist, job number 199-81226. Configuration Management Specialist, job number 199-81227. For more information about these and other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Fall River is growing its services to include the introduction of a mental health ministry hosted by local parishes. Mental Health Ministry Coordinator Rosemary Saraiva says the Catholic Church has always served as a faith-based sanctuary for the needy, and those who are experiencing mental health issues should not be turned away.
The goal, of course, with the mental health ministry is, one, to eliminate stigma, which is kind of one of the biggest barriers for people getting help. And then two is to open the doors so that those that have been seeking help can find ways to get help. So the mental health ministry, this is not a treatment. It's not something we do to help fix anything, because that's not the goal. This is basically to accompany people, to help them understand that they're not alone, that there is help out there, there are people willing to help, and that we're there for them, and that we can accompany them in getting the resources and vital needs and information they need to help understand what mental health is, what mental health illness is and isn't, and how they can we can help them break down the barriers that prevent them from getting help.
Jack Weldon works with the lay team members at parishes wishing to establish and support a mental health ministry. The process to train team members takes several months, and volunteers do not need to bring any clinical experience to become part of the ministry.
people who are empathetic, compassionate, welcoming, and interested in helping. Many of them have lived experience, so a family member who has required services, sometimes they have themselves, but they are interested in helping to bridge the gap that gets created because of stigma and because people with these conditions don't necessarily feel welcomed in groups, including church groups. And so to bridge that, it takes a committed group of people who have that investment in mind when they come in the first place.
The plan to grow the mental health ministry focuses on outreach within the diocese service area from Attleboro to Cape Cod.
Fall River has 5 deaneries, and to bring it out to each of the deaneries, so there's at least a central location in each deanery. Ideally would be to have every parish have some form of the mental health ministry, whether it's a prayer ministry or a support group ministry or just accompaniment where someone who might have issues is maybe anxiety ridden and wants to go to Mass but is afraid. Then someone in the parish can say, sit with me, I'll sit with you.
Holy Name Church in Fall River is a city parish in the process of organizing a mental health ministry. Parishioners who feel such a ministry would be of benefit should share their interest with their local pastor. The City of Fall River is sponsoring a New Look Veterans Day celebration this weekend. This year's event will include a rolling parade beginning at Veterans Memorial Bicentennial Park and travel up President Avenue, ending at BMC Durfee High School. Activities and other entertainment will be available at North Park and Highland Park for residents to enjoy and view the parade. The parade will kick off at 2 p.m. with the Veterans Day celebration to be held at Durfee High School at 3:30 p.m. We will wrap up this edition of FRC Media News right after this.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Here I have Heathcliff. Heathcliff here is a 2-year-old domestic short hair, lovely little orange man. He did come in as a stray, so we don't have much on his background history. He's a nice, friendly boy, loves to be held and loves to be babied. He's a good boy, starting with his jingle bells. He's just looking for a nice, lovely home to take him home and love him. If you are interested in Heathcliff, feel free to fill out an app on our website at foreverpaws.com. He is definitely ready to meet you and just waiting for his forever family.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Lee. Lee is actually a female, sounds like it might be a boy. She is a puppy, she's about 6 months old now. She is a Jack Russell mix. You can probably tell from the size of her paws. We're expecting her to not get too big, but like a medium-sized dog, maybe between 30 and 40 pounds, give or take a couple. Yes, hello, sweetheart. She's got an adorable face, as you can see. Being a puppy, you will have to be, prepared for the normal puppy stuff. She is going to need training, housebreaking, how to walk on a leash, obedience, commands, all that kind of stuff. As far as children are concerned, she will do well with most children. The only ones that we advise against are like teeny tiny little ones, like the ones that are just learning to walk and whatnot, because she'll teach them how to get knocked over. If you think that you're interested in Lee, if you think you could give her a good home, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website at frmedia.org for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great Veterans Day holiday. We'll see you next Thursday.